Hi everyone, so today I have a beautiful model in the studio. Her name is Tabatha, and I actually met her because she was a model on my Pinpoint Concealer photo shoot last summer, and I'd reached out to agencies just saying, do you have anyone that's very, very happy to be photographed with zero makeup on? I wanted models that had genuine skin issues and that wouldn't mind having before and afters all unretouched and just happy to show their skin. I'm going to do this really lovely, warm, bronzy, glowy look to get us all ready for warmer weather. So welcome, Tabatha. So Tabatha, we're going to start with tint number 11, which is your shade. Going to give that a shake and apply all over. Your skin is looking really good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Have you been using something different, or it just...
Well, to be
comes and
honest,
goes?
I mean, it was just me realizing that changing pillowcases once or twice a week isn't enough. You have to do it every day sometimes if you have quite sensitive skin. So that was just the beauty hack that I found.
Okay, and that's really helped.
A lot, yeah.
Interesting.
'Cause I think when I came this summer, I had quite a lot of dark spots.
Yeah, because we shot it in July, right? Yeah.
Yes. I think the season and the weather wasn't helping either.
So your skin kind of changes all the time. Sometimes you've
Yeah.
got a breakout, then you've got the marks to deal with.
Exactly.
That's what I remember from when I used to have the acne.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter when I didn't have any breakouts because I still had 3 months of marks to deal with, if not longer.
Yeah. And I think when we did that concealer, it was really helpful because it just kind of covered up all of the dark spots just while they were healing.
Mm-hmm. Now I'm just going to put a little bit of highlighter on. I actually meant to do this first, but it's fine. It goes on afterwards as well, but I usually like to do it just a touch before. So this one is Solar Light. I'm just going to use it on the top of your cheekbones, mainly on the cheek area, a little bit on your nose. Just using it in a small area, quite precise. So next I'm going to use a little bit of foundation, just here and there. You could use concealer, regular sort of liquid concealer. I'm just using a touch of 13. So this is slightly lighter and golden, just under the eye area mainly. So now I'm just going to do some pinpoint concealing just on these little marks, because obviously your skin is gorgeous.
Thank you.
And you've got a couple of these marks, so we're not going to be beaten by those. We're going to just conceal those very precisely and really microdose this concealer. So I'll just show you how I'm going to do this. I'm just sort of scribbling onto the little mark so you can see it's just very selectively covering. I like to keep those edges a little bit random because it means that you don't see the edges rather than draw a solid circle. Say, for example, with this one, which is obviously quite a little circle, I would firstly do a little bit of a random shape and then just tap in. You can use a brush or fingers. So I sort of take some of it off, create that little shape around it, and then I go back in and be more direct. So right onto that little mark there. And because this is so high coverage, you just start to see it kind of disappearing. Under here, there's a little bit of, I think this is an old spot, just left a little bit of pigmentation there. So I'm just going to, again, just quite randomly scribble over that area. I'm using quite a light touch, so I'm not pressing really hard. That's quite important as well, because obviously if you've got delicate little spots or your skin's feeling a little bit sensitive, then you don't want to be attacking it. So I'm just going to use powder. Again, I'm going to be quite microdosy in where I use it. I don't need to use it to set the concealer in this case, but I'm just going to use it wherever there is unwanted little bits of shine. Next, I'm going to do a little wash of Titania. This is a liquid Lurex. Just going to do a thin layer. Just a dot, really. Just to give some sheen to the lid. Let's have a look at that. I'm going to use the same shade just to do a line as well. Just a soft, easy line, just to put a little light behind the lashes. Okay, so I'm going to do some mascara. Just look down for me. That's perfect. Just going to get right down to the roots there. Just put a light layer all over. Just keeping this makeup quite... There's a little touch of glam on the eyes, but in general, I just want it to be quite soft and pretty. And fresh. So I'm just going to do a little bit of brows. Got beautiful brows.
Okay.
Tiny little gap in that one. And just the edge here. So I watched a lot of movies this weekend, just gone. I think it's because, I don't know, the weather is so awful. It's so cold. And I hadn't really watched movies for ages. I watched this one called Heretic.
What's it about?
It is a horror film, which I hadn't realised. I like Hugh Grant. You know, Hugh Grant was in it. I knew he was playing like a bad character, a bad guy. And I thought, oh, good for him, you know, because he's always played the same sorts of characters.
Yeah, of course.
Oh my God, it was so, horrific. It's about these two girls that kind of stop by his house to talk about religion.
Yeah.
And then, of course, he's completely crazy, and it was a horror film. I think what makes it so creepy is that he's kind of almost playing it like he's in Four Weddings and a Funeral. So he's being like, oh, silly me, and oh, guess what? But you know, he's a psychopath.
Yeah.
So it's almost extra creepy because of that.
How long does it usually take you to develop all of the products?
Oh, don't go there. It takes forever. Just years and years and years. I can't even tell you how long it takes. I'm just using a cream blush, by the way, because I want to show you how, although this is completely waterproof and long wearing, if you did want to kind of rub up your face or put more makeup on, you can always go back in and retouch your concealing. So I'm going to use a bit of cream blush just over the top of the concealing there. It takes years, really does. I mean, this concealer that I've launched now was not the first one I started. I had 2 others that I'd started before then that are still in development. And this was the 3rd one I started, and it's come out first.
Wow.
There's always something. It's always either you have to tweak a formula or packaging. Basically, it's chemistry meets engineering.
Yeah.
And both of those things are fraught with problems.
I can imagine.
I'm going to add a little bit of highlighter into that now and just show you how you can get so much volume from blush. And in that case, I'd want it to be really on the sort of fattest part of the cheek, if you like.
Yeah.
So if I was going here and I was using something, which I'm doing now, which is mixing together a highlighter, that creates a lot of volume. It's almost like, you know, a cheek filler. Makeup can do so many things that procedures claim to do or do. You know, that just brings so much volume to the centre of the face. So I'm going to use 2N pencil. Just to create a little shape around the lips. What kind of makeup? Oh gosh, I shouldn't ask you a question when I'm doing your lips, should I? Do you know, I do that a lot when I'm doing people's makeup. And then I literally say, don't speak. Stop talking. I'm just asking a question. So I'm going to use the pencil all over the lip just to create a stain. Because we've got a lot of shine everywhere, I'm just going to use a velveteen for your lips. So it'll be a slightly soft matte lip, which I think is going to look gorgeous with the shine on your eyes. So I'm kind of balancing those out. Just going to buff this on, and it will set down to a kind of soft velvety finish. So matte, but not too matte. Still feel nice and slippy and moisturising. Just spot your lips slightly. I'm just going to go back in with a pencil, which is really good for just cleaning up lip lines. Just around the edge of the lips, or if you want to clean up a little corner. Also helps the lipstick if you're wearing something, not so much with this liquid velveteen, but if you were wearing something that was a little bit more moisturising or prone to travel, this will really help it to not do that. I'm going to finish off with a tiny bit of shimmering bronzer. just on the high points of your face. Top of the cheekbones and eyelids. Just going to give a little spritz. I think that's the finished look. Have a look in the mirror.
Wow, this is amazing. Stunning.
It may
Thank
be
you.
cold outside, but you're giving summer. I'm feeling summer coming. It is coming. I'm not sure when, but it will be here at some point.
Yes.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.